Jungkook vanishes after a fiery fight with Jimin, leaving behind a cryptic message that sparks fear, betrayal, and mystery among everyone. You think you know everything about me, Jimin? You don't know a damn thing. Jungkook's voice tore through the room, each word sharp enough to cut. And you think disappearing every time something gets hard makes you stronger? Jimin shot back, his tone laced with fury. You run away, Jungkook. You always run away. Don't twist this on me. You're the one who turned our private lives into a battlefield. Jungkook's words echoed like accusations carved into stone. You humiliated me in front of everyone. You crossed a line you can't uncross. Jimin leaned forward, his breathing fast but steady. At least I don't lie. At least I don't hide behind some fake image just to make people love me. You're terrified they'll see who you really are. The silence that followed was unbearable, heavy with the weight of unspoken truths. Then Jungkook broke it, his voice raw. If that's what you believe, then maybe you don't deserve to know me at all. You're right, Jimin snapped, though his voice cracked in betrayal. Maybe I don't. Maybe I've wasted all this time defending someone who doesn't even know who he is. Jungkook's eyes narrowed. You'll regret saying that. And then he was gone. No warning, no explanation, no sound of retreat, just gone. The others rushed into the room minutes later, drawn by the echoes of rage that still lingered. Taehyung was the first to speak. Where's Jungkook? Jimin didn't answer. His fists trembled against his sides. He left. Namjoon stepped closer. What happened? What always happens, Jimin muttered bitterly. He refuses to face the truth. The argument replayed in his mind like a storm he couldn't silence, but it was more than anger now. It was dread. He checked his phone instinctively, half hoping, half fearing. That's when he saw it. A message. From Jungkook. Just 2 words. Don't follow. Jimin froze, his chest tightening. He texted me. What did he say? Hozak asked, his voice quick with urgency. Don't follow. Jimin whispered, his tone unsteady. The room fell into stunned silence. Seokjin broke it, his voice sharp. That doesn't sound like him. Jungkook doesn't just vanish and leave cryptic messages. Something's wrong. Namjoon's jaw clenched. We can't panic. Maybe he just needs space. Space? Jimin turned on him, his voice rising. That wasn't a cry for space. It was a warning. What if he's in danger? What if this is more than just a fight? Taehyung stepped in. Or, what if he wants us to think that? He's not reckless, but he's been carrying secrets for months. Maybe this is his way of breaking free. Jimin shook his head. You didn't hear the way he said it. You didn't hear how much he hated me. Maybe he doesn't hate you, Hoseok interjected softly. Maybe he hates himself. The words cut deeper than any insult, because they rang true. Jungkook's struggles with his identity, the pressure, the endless expectations, they were all pieces of a puzzle none of them had managed to solve. Jimin clenched his phone tighter. I have to find him. Namjoon stopped him. No, if he said not to follow, barging in could make things worse. We need to be smart. And what if being smart gets him killed? Jimin snapped, the desperation in his voice undeniable. The group exchanged uneasy glances, each caught between loyalty and fear. Taehyung finally broke the silence. What if this isn't just about the fight? What if someone else is involved? That suggestion hung in the air like poison. Jimin's phone buzzed again. Another message from Jungkook. This time, longer. If you care about me, stay away. This is bigger than us. Don't make the same mistake twice. The words sent shockwaves through Jimin's chest. He read them aloud, his voice breaking. Bigger than us? What the hell does that mean? Namjoon's expression darkened. It means he's in something he can't tell us about. Something dangerous. Jimin's voice shook as he spoke. Or it means he doesn't trust me anymore. The tension escalated as the members turned on each other. Accusations, fears, questions all colliding. Seokjin snapped. This is exactly what whoever's behind this would want us turning against each other. Jimin's anger burned hotter. Don't reduce this to paranoia. This isn't just about a fight. He left because of me. Because I pushed him too far. Taehyung's voice cut through like a blade. Or maybe he left because he's protecting you. Jimin's eyes widened, confusion twisting inside him. Protecting me? From what? No one had an answer. The silence that followed was more terrifying than the shouting had been. The phone buzzed again, but this time, it wasn't Jungkook. It was an unknown number. A message that read, "You'll never see him again if you don't listen." The air collapsed under the weight of those words. "Read it again." Taehyung's voice shook with disbelief. Jimin held the phone like it was burning his palm. "It says, you'll never see him again if you don't listen." His throat tightened, the words tasting bitter every time he repeated them. "Who the hell would send something like that?" Hoseok demanded, his voice cracking with panic. "Is this some kind of joke? Does that look like a joke to you?" Jimin snapped, his eyes flashing with rage. "This isn't just some troll playing games. Someone has him. Someone knows where he is." Seokjin snatched the phone out of Jimin's grip, his eyes scanning the message. It came from an unknown number. No name. No clue. Just a threat. If they wanted us to panic, congratulations, they won. Namjoon stepped forward, his calm composure beginning to fracture. "We need to think rationally. If this is real, then Jungkook's life depends on us not acting impulsively. If it's fake, then someone's exploiting the fight to tear us apart. Don't you get it?" Jimin barked. "Jungkook wouldn't leave messages like this unless he was forced to. He's in trouble. I can feel it." Taehyung cut in, his tone colder than usual. "Or maybe he's testing us. Maybe he wants to know if we'll listen to him or betray his trust by running after him. He told you not to follow. Don't twist it." Jimin shot back, fury boiling in his chest. "This isn't a test. This is life or death. You didn't hear how he spoke before he left. You didn't hear the anger, the desperation. He wasn't just mad, he was scared. Scared of you," Taehyung countered, his words laced with venom. "You keep acting like you're his savior, but maybe you're the reason he's drowning." The accusation stung like a blade. Jimin lunged toward him, but Namjoon shoved himself between them, his voice booming with authority. "Stop it. Both of you. This isn't the time for blaming each other. Jungkook is missing. That's the only fact that matters." But Jimin refused to back down. His voice trembled with rage, but underneath was raw pain. "I don't care what any of you say. I'm not sitting around while he's out there with God knows who. If I have to tear the world apart to find him, I will. Then you'll be walking straight into their hands," Seokjin said, his tone sharp and unforgiving. "Do you think whoever sent this message doesn't know how reckless you are? You'll lead them straight to all of us. You'll get us killed, or worse, you'll get him killed." Jimin's chest rose and fell heavily, but his voice grew quieter, darker. "At least I'll be doing something. At least I won't be the one who stood still while Jungkook disappeared." The room went silent, the weight of his words hanging like a noose around them all. Hoseok finally broke the tension. "What if we're already too late?" No one wanted to answer. Jimin's phone buzzed again. Another message. The screen lit up with words that froze the air in the room. "One of you already betrayed him. That's why he's gone." Everyone's eyes darted toward each other, suspicion flooding like poison through their veins. "Betrayal?" Taehyung whispered. "What the hell does that mean?" Jimin read the words aloud, his voice raw. "One of us. They're saying one of us betrayed him." "That's impossible," Hoseok said quickly, though his voice wavered. "None of us would ever, wouldn't we?" Seokjin cut in sharply. "We've all had our breaking points. We've all had our secrets. Who's to say one of us didn't push him into this?" Jimin turned on him instantly. "You think I don't know who they're talking about? They mean me. They're saying I betrayed him." Taehyung's voice sliced in coldly. "Maybe you did." The tension cracked like thunder. Jimin slammed his fist against the table, his voice erupting. "I loved him like a brother. Do you think I wanted this? Do you think I wanted to drive him away?" "No," Taehyung said, his tone sharper than knives. "You wanted control. And when he resisted, you turned it into a war." Namjoon stepped forward again, trying to contain the storm. But even his patience was unraveling. "Enough. Fighting over guilt isn't going to bring him back. We need to understand what this message means. Whoever sent it is trying to tear us apart. And if we let them, Jungkook doesn't stand a chance." The phone buzzed again. Another message. "Midnight. If you want proof he's alive, come alone. One of you. Not all." Everyone froze. "Midnight?" Hoseok whispered. "That's hours from now. They want one of us to go. Alone." Jimin clenched his fists, his voice harsh. "Then I'll go." "No," Namjoon said firmly. "That's exactly what they want. They know you're the easiest to manipulate. they'll use your guilt against you. Then who? Seokjin demanded. Who decides which one of us gets sent like a sacrificial lamb? Taehyung's gaze flickered, dark and conflicted. Maybe that's the point. Maybe they want us to fight over who it should be. Then I'll make it simple, Jimin said through clenched teeth. If you won't let me go, then I'll go without your permission. Nothing you say will stop me. The room erupted again, voices colliding like fire and gasoline, each one louder, harsher, more desperate than the last. Paranoia began to sink its claws into every corner of their bond, threatening to shatter it completely. And all the while, Jimin's phone sat on the table, buzzing again and again, each new message a dagger carving deeper into their trust. This time the words were colder, crueler. Choose wisely. Only one of you deserves to see him alive. Read it again, Namjoon said, though his voice had lost its steadiness. Jimin's fingers trembled as he held the phone. The screen glared back with cruel simplicity. Choose wisely. Only one of you deserves to see him alive. The room collapsed into silence. No one breathed. No one dared to speak first. It was Hoseok who finally broke the stillness, his voice thin with disbelief. They want us to decide who goes. They want us to turn against each other. Seokjin's tone hardened. And if we choose wrong, Jungkook could die. Jimin slammed the phone down, his voice exploding like a gunshot. There is no choice. I'm going. No, Namjoon snapped instantly, his patience shattering. Do you even hear yourself? You're the last person who should go. You're the one they're baiting. Everything about this message is designed to target you. Because I'm the one Jungkook fought with? Jimin shot back. Because I'm the one who drove him away? Because you're reckless, Namjoon's voice thundered, the leader's facade stripped bare. You'll charge in blind, and they'll use your anger against you. Do you want to walk straight into a trap? Jimin's chest heaved, but his words were like fire. I don't care if it's a trap. I'd rather die trying to bring him back than sit here debating while he's out there alone. Taehyung's voice cut in cold and sharp. Maybe that's exactly what you want to die for your guilt. But what about us? What about the rest of us who'll have to live with the pieces? Jimin turned on him, eyes blazing. Don't you dare talk about guilt, Taehyung. You've been looking at me like I'm the villain since the second he left. If you think you can do better, then go ahead. Volunteer yourself. For a moment, Taehyung didn't move. Then, quietly, he said, Maybe I should. The word stunned the room. Hoseok's voice cracked. Don't say that. Don't even think it. But Taehyung's gaze didn't waver. If one of us has to go, then it should be me. Jungkook trusted me once. Maybe he still does. You're delusional, Jimin spat. You think this is about trust? This is about survival. Seokjin stepped between them before fists could fly. His voice was ice. Listen to yourselves. This is exactly what they want us tearing each other apart until we're nothing but scraps. Whoever's behind this is laughing right now, watching us crumble. Namjoon pinched the bridge of his nose, his calm unraveling by the second. We need to stop. We need to think. We don't even know if these messages are really from Jungkook's captors. For all we know, Jungkook himself is sending them. Jimin barked a laugh, bitter and sharp. Do you actually believe that? That Jungkook would send this? That he'd pit us against each other like some sick game? Taehyung's reply was colder than frost. Maybe you don't know him as well as you think. The room bristled with fury. Accusations, doubts, suspicions, each word heavier than the last, dragging them closer to collapse. Hoseok clutched his head, his voice trembling. Stop it. All of you. You're not even hearing yourselves. You're talking like Jungkook is already dead. Silence. Then the phone buzzed again. Another message. Decide now. Midnight is closer than you think. Jimin snatched the phone. Fine. If none of you have the courage, then I'll decide. I'm going. End of discussion. No, Namjoon said again, stepping into his path. If anyone goes, it'll be me. I'm the leader. This responsibility is mine. Stop hiding behind that word, Jimin shouted, voice raw. Being leader doesn't make you invincible. It doesn't make you the only one who cares about him. You think I don't know the risks? I don't care. I can't just sit back while Jungkook. You think this is about who cares more? Namjoon roared back, his voice shaking the walls. This isn't about you, Jimin. This is about Jungkook. And if you can't see that, then maybe you're not the one who should save him. The words struck like a knife. For a moment, Jimin couldn't breathe. Then his voice broke, trembling with fury and heartbreak. You don't understand. You'll never understand what he means to me. Taehyung's voice rose again, venomous and unforgiving. What he means to you or what you wanted him to mean. Shut up, Jimin hissed. Maybe you never loved him at all. Taehyung pushed, relentless now. Maybe you just wanted to own him. Jimin lunged forward, his hands clenching, but Hoseok grabbed him, pulling him back before the blow could land. Seokjin's voice cracked like thunder. Enough. We're supposed to be family, and you're tearing each other apart like enemies. But the phone buzzed once more, silencing them all. This time, the message was longer. One of you has already chosen. The rest are only pretending. At midnight, the truth will reveal itself. Everyone stared at each other, suspicion clawing deeper, darker. Already chosen? Hoseok whispered. What does that mean? It means one of us has already betrayed the others, Seokjin said, his tone grim. Jimin's voice shook with rage. If you're accusing me again. Namjoon cut him off, his voice sharp as glass. No, not just you. Any of us. That's the point. We don't know who to trust anymore. The silence that followed was unbearable. For the first time, none of them had the strength to speak. The bond that had carried them through years of battles, victories, and pain now felt like a fragile thread one pull away from snapping forever. And outside, the clock was ticking toward midnight. The clock's ticking was merciless. Each second bled into the next, carrying them closer to midnight. The room was heavy with suspicion, a suffocating weight pressing down on everyone. No one trusted the silence, and no one trusted each other. Jimin's phone buzzed again, its vibration rattling against the table like a warning drumbeat. He grabbed it before anyone else could, eyes burning as he read aloud. When the clock strikes 12, the betrayer will reveal themselves. Do not resist. Do not interfere. Hoseok's voice cracked. This is insane. They're playing with us like puppets. They're trying to destroy us from the inside. Seokjin's eyes narrowed, sharp and relentless. And it's working. Look at us. We're already turning on each other. Because one of us did betray him, Taehyung said coldly, his voice like ice splintering through the tension. You can all keep pretending, but deep down you know it's true. Jungkook didn't vanish by accident. Someone pushed him there. Jimin rounded on him instantly, his voice thunderous. You're still pointing fingers at me? After everything? Fine. Then say it to my face. Say I'm the traitor. Taehyung didn't hesitate. You are. The words hit like a blade to the chest. Jimin's hands clenched at his sides, his voice trembling with fury. You think I'd ever hurt him? You think I'd hand him over to whoever's doing this? I'd rather die first. Then maybe you already killed him without realizing it. Taehyung shot back. You broke him down. You humiliated him. You cornered him until he had nowhere left to run. You might as well have put a knife in his back yourself. Jimin surged forward, his rage volcanic. Say that again, and I swear I'll— Enough, Namjoon roared, slamming his voice between them like a hammer. Both of you shut up before you destroy what's left of this group. This is exactly what they want. But Jimin's fury wouldn't be silenced. His voice cracked, not just with anger, but with anguish. Do you think this is a game to me? Jungkook is out there, terrified, maybe bleeding, maybe already. His voice broke, and for the first time, he couldn't finish. And you? You stand there blaming me instead of helping him. Taehyung's expression hardened further. Because maybe helping him means keeping you away from him. The room bristled with heat. Hoseok stepped between them, desperate, his voice cracking. Stop it, please. You're tearing everything apart. Jungkook wouldn't want this. But Seokjin snapped back bitterly. How do you know what Jungkook would want? He's not here. We don't know where he is or what he's thinking. For all we know, he doesn't want to be found. The words silenced even Jimin. His throat tightened, horror flashing in his eyes. Don't you dare say that! Don't you dare say he doesn't want us anymore! Namjoon finally exhaled, his calm unraveling completely. Whether he wants us or not doesn't matter. He's in danger. That's what matters. Midnight is minutes away. We don't have the luxury to argue. We have to decide who goes. Jimin's voice rose again. I already told you. It's me. And I already told you no, Namjoon countered. Then who? Jimin demanded, fire in his chest. Who do you want to sacrifice? Taehyung, Hoseok, Seokjin, yourself? Make the call, leader. Or are you too afraid? The words struck hard. Namjoon's eyes flickered, torn between rage and despair. For once, He had no answer. The silence didn't last long. The phone buzzed again. Another message. Time is over. The betrayer knows who they are. Step forward now, or he dies. Everyone froze. Hoseok's breathing turned shallow. What do we do? What do we do? Sukjin's gaze swept over the room, sharp, desperate. Someone needs to confess. Whoever it is, if one of you knows something, say it now, before it's too late. No one moved. No one spoke. The silence was louder than screams. Then, suddenly, Taehyung stepped forward. His voice was steady, almost too steady. It's me. The room erupted. What? Hoseok gasped, his voice breaking. Jimin's body froze, disbelief flooding his veins. You're lying. Taehyung's eyes burned, unflinching. I'm not. I told him to leave that night. I told him to walk away from all of this. Maybe I didn't mean for it to go this far, but I pushed him. I betrayed him. Jimin lunged toward him, his voice feral. You son of a... Namjoon held him back, his own shock etched into every word. Why are you saying this now? Why admit it like this? Because it's the truth, Taehyung said simply, though his voice trembled at the edges. I thought I was protecting him. I thought he needed freedom. But I didn't realize I was handing him over to something worse. The phone buzzed again. Correct. The betrayer has spoken. Now the rest of you will pay for waiting too long. The lights in the room flickered violently. The walls seemed to shake with a sudden, deep rumble. Everyone's eyes darted toward the door. And then came another message, colder than ice. Look outside. Jimin bolted to the window, his breath caught in his throat. A van was parked across the street, blacked out, engine humming. Inside, a shadow moved fast, deliberate, purposeful. Jimin's voice broke into a scream. They're here! The others rushed to the window. The van's door slid open, and for a split second, a figure stepped into view. It was Jungkook, bound, blindfolded, and pulled back into the darkness before anyone could react. Jimin's heart stopped. His voice cracked like shattered glass. No! No! They've got him! Namjoon grabbed his arm as Jimin tried to bolt out the door. Wait! It's a trap! I don't care! Jimin roared, ripping free. They have him! And if I don't go now, he'll be gone forever! The clock struck midnight, and the world exploded. The air outside was sharp with dread. The van's taillights glowed like burning coals as it sped into the night, carrying Jungkook deeper into the jaws of whatever nightmare had swallowed him. Jimin's legs carried him forward before reason could stop him, but Namjoon's grip was iron on his arm. Let me go! Jimin roared, voice cracking with fury and despair. They have him! They have Jungkook! You'll die if you chase them blind, Namjoon snapped, dragging him back. That's exactly what they want. You'll throw yourself into their hands and lose everything. I'd rather lose myself than lose him, Jimin shouted, trying to wrench free. His chest felt like it was caving in, every second pulling Jungkook further away. Taehyung's voice cut through, steady but trembling. Jimin, stop! Think! If you run now, you're not saving him. You're delivering yourself to them. Why do you care? Jimin spat, turning his fury on him. You already admitted you betrayed him. You're the reason he's in that van right now. Taehyung's jaw tightened, guilt flooding his voice. I never meant for this to happen. I thought I was helping him. I didn't know there were people waiting to take advantage of his weakness. Shut up, Jimin snapped, his voice raw with hatred. You don't get to justify it. You don't get to play the martyr now. You pushed him away. You handed him to them. Then let me fix it, Taehyung shot back. His eyes burned with something desperate, something haunted. If anyone deserves to risk their life for him, it's me, not you. You think this is about who deserves it? Jimin screamed, his voice breaking. This isn't about you or me or Namjoon or anyone else. This is about him, Jungkook. He's out there terrified, maybe bleeding, maybe begging for help. And we're here arguing like children while his life ticks away by the second. The night air shook with his words. For a moment, no one dared breathe. Hoseok's voice cracked as he whispered, If we keep fighting like this, we'll lose him. Forever. Namjoon finally let go of Jimin's arm, though his eyes were stormy. Then what do you suggest? Running after that van with nothing but rage? Charging into a trap without a plan? You think that will save him? It will only destroy you and him. Jimin's fists trembled at his sides. Then what's your plan, leader? Because all I see is hesitation. All I hear is excuses. Maybe you don't care as much as you pretend to. The accusation hit Namjoon like a slap. His voice darkened, sharp as glass. Don't you dare question my loyalty. I've carried this group on my back for years. I've sacrificed everything for all of you, for him. And now you stand here telling me I don't care? Yes, Jimin snarled. Because caring means acting. Caring means bleeding if you have to. And you hide behind logic while Jungkook slips further away. The tension boiled over. Seokjin stepped in, his voice harsh. Enough. Both of you are so blinded by pride you can't see straight. This isn't about who shouts louder. This is about survival. But the phone buzzed again, silencing them all. Jimin grabbed it with shaking hands. A new message glowed on the screen. Final chance. One of you comes. Alone. The others stay behind. Midnight has passed. Time is running out. Jimin's heart pounded. His voice cracked. They're demanding one of us again. Then it has to be me, Taehyung said firmly. No, Namjoon countered. It'll be me. Jimin's voice rose like fire. I already told you, it has to be me. You're too unstable, Namjoon shouted. And you're too calculating, Jimin shot back. And you're both missing the point, Seokjin thundered. This isn't a negotiation. It's a death sentence, no matter who goes. We're arguing over which one of us gets to walk into their trap first. Hoseok's voice broke with desperation. Then maybe none of us should go. Maybe that's what they want, to separate us, to destroy us piece by piece. If we refuse, maybe... The phone buzzed again. Refuse. And he dies now. The words were like a blade across Jimin's chest. His legs nearly buckled. We can't refuse. We can't. They'll kill him. Namjoon exhaled, his decision weighing heavier than stone. Then we have no choice. Someone goes. The silence that followed was unbearable. Every eye flickered with guilt, with fear, with unspoken secrets. Finally, Taehyung whispered, If no one else will decide, then I will. I'll go. Alone. End this argument now. No, Jimin said fiercely, his voice trembling but unyielding. If you go, you'll never come back. I won't let that happen. It has to be me. Namjoon's voice cracked with frustration. Damn it, Jimin, don't you get it? That's exactly what they want, you running headfirst into hell because you think it's your destiny to save him. You'll ruin everything. I don't care, Jimin screamed, his voice raw, broken. I don't care if it kills me. I don't care if I never come back. As long as Jungkook lives, I'll take the fall. The group froze, stunned by the naked truth in his words. And then the phone buzzed again. This time, the message was colder than anything before. The choice has been made. He will pay the price of your delay. The van's engine roared in the distance. And a scream pierced the night. Jimin's blood ran cold. That was him. They all bolted for the door at once. Their unity shattered, but their desperation shared. The street was empty now, the van disappearing into the maze of the city. The scream echoed in their ears, haunting, unforgettable. Jimin fell to his knees, his hands shaking violently. They're torturing him. They're hurting him because of us. Namjoon stood over him, his chest heaving, his voice low and hollow. Then we don't have time. We find them. Now. Taehyung's voice cracked, his guilt pouring out. And if we're already too late? Jimin's eyes lifted, burning like fire through tears. Then we burn the whole world down until we get him back. The scream still echoed in Jimin's skull long after the night swallowed it. It wasn't just sound, it was a blade cutting into him, raw and merciless. Jungkook's voice, trembling with pain, torn from him by unseen hands. Every nerve in Jimin's body screamed back, demanding he run, fight, bleed, anything, but stand in the emptiness of the street. His knees pressed against the cold asphalt, his fingers digging into it as if he could tear through the earth and drag Jungkook back. His breath came in shallow bursts, his throat raw from shouting, yet no words were enough. He wanted to rip apart the sky itself, to demand it give Jungkook back, but the world was mercilessly silent. Namjoon's hand landed on his shoulder, steady, heavy, a reminder of restraint. Jimin jerked away, glaring up at him with eyes lit in fury. Don't touch me. Jimin's voice cracked like thunder. This is your fault. You held me back. If I had run after them, You'd be in that van too, Namjoon snapped, his control splintering. His voice dropped lower, harsh, and shaking. Don't you see? That's what they wanted, both of you trapped. They want us destroyed one by one. And now Jungkook is suffering because of your hesitation, Jimin roared, chest heaving. Because you always think, always plan, always wait while he bleeds. Namjoon flinched but stood firm, his jaw locked. I'd rather lose a second fighting smart than lose everything by running blind. If you can't understand that, then maybe you're not ready to lead him anywhere. The words sliced through Jimin like knives. His lips trembled, but rage kept him upright. Don't you dare talk to me about leading him. Don't you dare act like you care more than I do. You don't know what he means to me. A silence fell, heavy, dangerous. Every member could feel it, the words unspoken, hovering like a storm ready to break. Jimin's confession lingered in the air, raw, exposed. Taehyung's eyes flickered between them, guilt and something darker tightening in his chest. Seokjin finally stepped forward, his voice sharp as glass. Enough. Every second you waste screaming at each other is another second. Jungkook screams alone. Do you want that on your conscience? Because I already hear it in my head. Jimin staggered to his feet, chest still heaving. Then tell me what we do, Hyung. Because I swear to God, if we wait another second, I'll tear this city apart on my own. Before Seokjin could answer, the phone buzzed again. Jimin grabbed it, nearly breaking the screen with the force of his grip. A video played. The world froze. Jungkook, bound to a chair, his hair matted with sweat, his lips split and bleeding, his wrists raw, where ropes dug into skin. A hand gripped his chin, forcing his face toward the camera. His eyes, dark, terrified, and yet burning with defiance, locked on them through the screen. Then the voice came, distorted, mocking, cold. You argue like children while he pays the price. Do you love him, Jimin? Enough to trade your freedom for his? Jimin's breath hitched. The phone slipped slightly in his shaking hand. The voice continued. Midnight has passed. The game is over. But perhaps we're merciful. One final chance. Bring yourself. Alone. No tricks. No shadows. Or we'll cut his scream short forever. The camera shifted. A knife pressed against Jungkook's throat. He flinched, his breath ragged. The captors laughed low, cruel. Then the video cut to black. Jimin's knees buckled. He clutched the phone to his chest, as if holding Jungkook himself. His voice broke into a sob, but his words burned with fire. I'm going. I don't care what you say. I'm going. No, Namjoon barked. Yes, Jimin snapped back. If you go, it's suicide. Namjoon's voice thundered, but cracks lined it now. Fear, desperation. Don't you understand? They'll kill you both. That's the point. Then let them kill me, Jimin screamed, his body trembling. Better me than him. Better me bleeding in his place than sitting here like a coward. Taehyung's voice tore through the chaos, raw and broken. Stop! Both of you stop! He staggered forward, tears streaking his face, his own guilt clawing out. This is all my fault. If anyone should go, it's me. I'm the reason he's there. I'm the one who... Don't you dare. Jimin's voice turned venomous, sharp enough to cut. Don't you dare pretend you're noble now. You betrayed him once. You don't get to play savior. Taehyung flinched like he'd been struck. His hands curled into fists, his voice shaking with both fury and regret. You think you're the only one who loves him? You think you're the only one breaking inside every second he's gone? I see his face every time I close my eyes. I hear his voice tearing me apart. I'd trade places with him in a heartbeat if I could. Then why didn't you protect him? Jimin spat. Why didn't you fight for him when it mattered? Because I was weak, Taehyung roared, his voice cracking, his body trembling. Because I let jealousy and fear blind me, and I hate myself every second for it. But don't you dare think you're the only one bleeding for him. The room vibrated with the force of their voices. Every word, a wound, every accusation, a scar. Hosea clutched his head, whispering, We're going to tear ourselves apart before they even touch us. Namjoon finally slammed his fist against the wall, the sound sharp as a gunshot. Enough. We don't have time for this. We need a plan now, or we lose him forever. Jimin turned on him, his voice deadly quiet. There is no plan. There's only me. And I'm going to him. Tonight. Namjoon met his gaze, unflinching. Then you'll have to go through me first. The words landed like a blow. The air thickened. everyone frozen between them, watching two forces collide. Jimin's fists clenched, his body vibrating with rage and heartbreak. And for the first time, he whispered the truth he had buried for so long. I'd fight the whole world for him, even if that means fighting you. The night was a black ocean pressing down on the city, every light dimmed under its weight, every street whispering with silence that felt alive. Jimin's footsteps echoed like gunshots against the pavement as he stormed out of the building. His fists were clenched so tight his nails bit crescents into his palms, but he didn't feel the sting. The only thing he felt was the hollow ache in his chest where Jungkook's laughter used to live. Behind him, voices chased him like ghosts. Namjoon's barked commands, Taehyung's choked pleas, Hoseok's desperate cries for calm. None of it mattered. The world had narrowed into one thing. One person, one burning vow. Jungkook. Jimin, stop! Namjoon's hand clamped around his arm, yanking him back. The force nearly spun him off his feet, but Jimin jerked free, his glare venomous enough to cut through steel. Let me go. Not like this. Namjoon's voice cracked, the mask of leader slipping for the first time. His eyes weren't the sharp steel of command. They were human, desperate, afraid. If you walk into their trap, you won't come back. And if you die, then at least he won't die alone. Jimin spat, the words tearing his throat raw. Taehyung stepped forward, his voice trembling but loud. You're not the only one who cares about him. Jimin's laugh was bitter, broken, a sound that hurt more than silence. He turned on Taehyung, his eyes blazing. Then where were you when he needed you? Where were you when the knives came out, when the voices poisoned him, when he begged for loyalty? The words hit Taehyung like bullets. He staggered back, his mouth opening, closing, searching for air that wouldn't come. You betrayed him, Jimin growled, stepping closer, each word dripping with venom. You betrayed all of us. Don't talk to me about caring. I regret it every second. Taehyung roared, his own fury igniting. His hands shook, his chest heaving. Do you think I sleep at night? Do you think I don't see him in every shadow, hear him in every silence? I'd burn myself alive if it meant getting him back. Then do it, Jimin hissed, shoving him back. Burn, but don't stand in my way. The group froze, the tension electric, the air sharp with the threat of violence. Seokjin stepped between them, his voice sharp and unyielding. Enough, both of you. You're tearing each other apart when he's the one suffering. At the sound of his name, Jimin's resolve hardened like steel. He turned, shoulders rigid, voice low but steady. I'm going, alone. If you try to stop me, you become the enemy. Namjoon's jaw tightened. And if you fail? Jimin's lips curved into something that wasn't quite a smile. Then I'll fail fighting for him. Not waiting in silence. He didn't wait for their answer. The night swallowed him whole as he disappeared down the street, his shadow long and sharp beneath the streetlights. Inside the abandoned warehouse across the city, Jungkook's screams broke the silence again. His wrists were raw, torn open by the ropes. Sweat dripped into the wounds, stinging, burning. His chest heaved with shallow breaths, every inhale rattling like glass in his lungs. He wanted to fight, to tear free, but his body was betraying him, too weak, too battered. The man standing before him, faceless under a mask, tilted his head, amused. Still defiant, I admire that. Most would be begging by now. Jungkook spat blood onto the floor, his eyes dark fire. He'll never break me, the man chuckled, low and cruel. I don't need to break you. I just need to break the ones who love you. Watching you bleed is enough. A blade flashed in the dim light, cold steel pressing against Jungkook's cheek. He didn't flinch, but his body trembled with exhaustion. The man leaned closer, his voice a whisper dripping poison. Do you think he'll come for you, Jungkook? Do you think Jimin will save you? Or will he let you rot here, screaming into the dark? Jungkook's chest seized. He closed his eyes for a moment, pulling strength from memories, Jimin's laughter, the warmth of his hand, the silent promises between them. When he opened his eyes, they were steady, unwavering. He'll come. He always comes. The masked man laughed, the sound echoing like a blade across stone. Good. Then let's make sure he suffers for it. Back on the streets, Jimin's phone buzzed again. Another message. Another video. This time Jungkook wasn't just tied. He was on his knees, a gun pressed against the back of his head. Jimin's breath stopped. The voice in the video purred. Tick-tock, Jimin. Every step you take, he bleeds. Every second you hesitate, he dies. Will you gamble his life for your pride? Or will you crawl to us, like the dog you are? The screen went black. Jimin's hands shook so violently he almost dropped the phone. His vision blurred with rage, his heart pounding against his ribs like it wanted out. He screamed into the night, a sound so raw it tore his throat. "I'm coming, Jungkook. Hold on, I'm coming." His words vanished into the empty city. But somewhere, in the darkness of the warehouse, Jungkook lifted his head, and a broken smile tugged at his lips. Because he believed him. He always did. The city never slept, but tonight it felt like even its heartbeat had been stolen. The streets were too quiet, the alleys too watchful, and every shadow seemed to whisper his name. Jimin didn't care. His only thought was Jungkook. Every step he took felt like a vow carved into the ground. He would reach him, no matter the cost. The phone buzzed again. He snatched it up with hands that trembled from rage more than fear. Another message. Another dagger to the chest. "You're too slow," the distorted voice taunted. "One more hour, and your precious Jungkook won't have a tongue to sing with." Jimin's grip nearly shattered the screen. He called back immediately, shouting into the deadline. "Cowards! Show yourselves! You think this will break me? You think threatening him will make me kneel?" His voice cracked on the last word, but he didn't care. "If you touch him again, I swear I'll burn the world to ash until nothing is left of you." "Brave," the voice sneered, and then the line cut. From the shadows nearby, Taehyung stepped out, his own voice tight with fury. "You'll never find them like this. You're letting them control you." Jimin spun, his eyes ablaze. "And what do you suggest I do? Sit and wait like you always do? Watch from the sidelines while Jungkook bleeds? I never wanted this?" Taehyung shot back, his words like gunfire. "I never wanted him hurt, or you turning into something unrecognizable. Do you even hear yourself? You're threatening to burn the world. You're sounding more like them than yourself." "Shut up," Jimin hissed. "You don't get to talk about Jungkook. Not after what you did." "And what about what you did?" Taehyung's voice broke, raw, sharp. "You pushed him. You cornered him with your expectations, your demands, your obsession with proving you were his savior. You think he vanished because of me? No, Jimin, he vanished because of both of us." The words sliced through the night like knives. For the first time, Jimin faltered. But his pride roared back before the silence could swallow him. "You're wrong. I never abandoned him. Never betrayed him. I may be obsessive, but at least my love isn't conditional." Taehyung's laugh was bitter. "Love? You call this love? Then why does he look like he's dying every time he tries to breathe under the weight of it?" The silence after that was suffocating. Both of them stood at the edge of something dangerous, something that might never be undone if they stepped further. Namjoon's voice broke through the tension, calm but heavy as iron. "Stop this, both of you." He stood behind them, his figure tall but wearied by the burden of keeping them from destroying each other. "You're too blinded by guilt and pride to see the truth. Whoever's pulling these strings knows exactly how to use your fractures. They're counting on it. If you don't stop tearing each other apart, Jungkook dies." The words hung in the air. Jimin turned, fists clenched, his voice shaking. "Then lead us, Namjoon. Do something. Don't just talk. Where is he?" Namjoon's silence was more painful than shouting. Finally, he whispered, "I don't know." The admission detonated between them. Jimin shoved him, his anger volcanic. "You're supposed to be the leader. You're supposed to know everything, to protect us. What good are you if you can't even save him?" Namjoon staggered but didn't retaliate. His eyes were haunted. "I'm not a god. I'm breaking just like you." Seokjin's voice cut in, cold and sharp as glass. "Enough. You think fighting among yourselves will bring him back? Every second you waste is another wound on his body. If you can't control yourselves, I will. I'll go alone if I have to." That silenced them. Seokjin never raised his voice, never threatened. But tonight, he was fire wrapped in ice. Jimin looked at him, words tumbling out like confession. "You don't understand. I saw the video. They put a gun to his head. I can't just wait anymore." Hoseok, who had been quiet until now, finally spoke, his voice trembling with suppressed fear. "What if it's a trap? What if they're luring us all into a slaughterhouse? Did you even think of that?" Jimin's reply was instant, furious. "I don't care. Better to die trying than to live knowing I did nothing." The room fell into stunned silence. the weight of his words pressed down on everyone. For the first time, the idea of death wasn't abstract. It was real, imminent, and clawing at their throats. Meanwhile, across the city, Jungkook was slipping further into the abyss. The masked man stood before him again, amused at the fire that still burned in Jungkook's eyes. So loyal, so naive. Do you really think he'll find you? Do you think Jimin is strong enough to walk into hell for you? Jungkook's voice was weak but steady. He already has. Every time. The man's laughter echoed against the concrete walls. Then let's test that devotion. Let's see how much he's willing to destroy to keep you alive. He raised the gun again, pressing it under Jungkook's chin. Should I send him another message? Jungkook swallowed hard, his breath shallow. But his eyes didn't waver. Do it. Every second you waste with me is another second he gets closer. You'll regret underestimating him. The man's smirk was hidden beneath his mask, but his silence was answer enough. Back on the other side of the city, Jimin grabbed his jacket, his decision final. I'm going. With or without you. Taehyung blocked the door. Over my dead body. Jimin's eyes were wild. Move. Don't test me. Namjoon stepped between them again, his voice desperate. Stop. If you leave now, you'll walk into their hands blind. Think, Jimin. If Jungkook's life means anything to you, don't just run, fight smart. Jimin's voice cracked, raw, and desperate. I don't have time to think. He's dying while we argue. The dam broke then. Voices clashed. Accusations flew. Alliances shattered and reformed within breaths. Every word was laced with grief, rage, regret, and love, twisted into something violent. They were a family on the verge of collapse, bound by a single thread, Jungkook's fading heartbeat. And in the silence between shouts, Jimin whispered to himself, so soft no one else heard. Hold on, Jungkook. Please, just hold on. The rain fell hard that night, as if the heavens themselves were trying to wash away the sins of the city. But no amount of rain could drown out the sound of Jimin's footsteps as he stormed through the abandoned industrial district, his eyes burning with fury and desperation. He had left the others behind, ignoring Namjoon's warnings, Seokjin's pleas, even Taehyung's furious attempt to stop him. None of it mattered. Only Jungkook mattered. His phone vibrated again, the glow of the screen cutting through the darkness. Another video. His hand shook as he pressed play. Jungkook was on the floor, wrists bound, blood on his lip, his breathing shallow. The masked man's voice taunted from behind the camera. He still believes you'll save him, Jimin. Should I tell him how many times you failed? Should I tell him how many people you had to betray just to reach this point? Jimin's breath caught in his throat. He wanted to smash the phone against the wall, but he forced himself to watch, to memorize every detail, the pipes behind Jungkook, the flicker of a red light, the sound of water dripping. A clue. He needed every scrap if he was going to reach him. Hold on, Jungkook, he whispered. I'm coming. Behind him, a voice spoke from the shadows. Going alone is suicide. Jimin whirled around. Taehyung stood there, drenched in rain, his jaw tight, his eyes blazing with something between rage and desperation. I told you to stay out of my way, Jimin snarled. And I told you I won't let you throw your life away, Taehyung's voice cracked raw. You think you're the only one who cares about him? You think you're the only one bleeding for him? Jimin's chest heaved. You don't get it. He chose me. The words were a blade between them. Taehyung's eyes darkened, his lips curling into a bitter smile. Is that what you tell yourself at night? That he chose you? Maybe that's what you need to believe, but you've never really asked him, have you? You've never looked at him and seen how trapped he feels between us. Jimin's fists clenched until his nails dug into his skin. Shut your mouth. No, Taehyung snapped, stepping closer. Because I'm done letting you control this narrative. You're not his savior, Jimin. You're his cage. The words shattered the fragile thread of Jimin's restraint. He lunged, shoving Taehyung against the rusted wall, their faces inches apart, their voices low and venomous. If I'm a cage, Jimin hissed, then you're the poison that weakens him. Don't you dare pretend you love him more than I do. Taehyung's laugh was hollow, broken. Love? You call this love? You'd burn him alive just so no one else could touch him. The silence after was deafening, broken only by the rain hammering the ground. Then Jimin stepped back, his chest heaving, his voice trembling with fury and grief. Believe what you want. Hate me if you must. But when I find him, When I bring him back, he'll know who was willing to tear the world apart for him. And when he sees what you've become? Taehyung asked softly. What then? Jimin didn't answer. He turned, his coat whipping behind him as he vanished into the storm. Taehyung stood there, fists trembling, his heart ripping in two. He wanted to stop him. He wanted to follow. But a darker thought gnawed at him. What if Jimin really did bring Jungkook back? What if Jungkook chose him in the end? The thought was unbearable. Meanwhile, Jungkook's world was collapsing into darkness. He could barely keep his eyes open, but every time they threatened to close, he forced them wide again. He couldn't afford to give in. He couldn't let the last image he saw be the sneer of the masked man. You're stubborn, the man said, crouching beside him. His gloved fingers grabbed Jungkook's chin, forcing his face upward. I can see why they fight over you. But tell me, Jungkook, do you ever wonder if you're worth it? If the blood they spill in your name is really for someone who deserves it? Jungkook spat blood at his feet, his voice hoarse but steady. I don't care what you think. They'll come for me. The man chuckled darkly. Oh, I know they will. That's the point. He stood, pacing slowly. You see, loyalty is a chain. Strong enough to bind men, but brittle enough to snap under pressure. Tonight, we'll see which happens first. He pulled a knife from his belt and dragged it across the concrete, the sound screeching like nails on glass. Jungkook's pulse quickened, but his gaze never wavered. If you hurt them, Jungkook whispered, his voice trembling not with fear but fury. I swear You'll what? The man cut him off with a mocking laugh. You can't even stand. Jungkook's lips curled into a faint smile, defiant even through the blood. Doesn't matter. They'll finish what I can't. The man tilted his head, studying him, then leaned closer. Then I'll make you a deal. Survive the night, and maybe you'll see if that's true. He shoved Jungkook back, his laughter echoing as the door slammed shut, leaving Jungkook alone in the suffocating dark. Back outside, Jimin followed the faint trail of clues he'd pieced together, his body moving on instinct, his heart thundering in his chest. Every step brought him closer to Jungkook, or closer to death. He didn't care which, but what he didn't know was that another shadow followed him, silent, watching, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. And somewhere deep within the city, the real game was only beginning. The warehouse stank of rust and old gasoline, the kind of smell that stuck to your clothes and followed you long after you left. Jimin stepped through the broken doorframe, his boots crunching on shards of glass. His breath came hard and fast, the storm outside muffling to a distant roar now that he was inside. He knew Jungkook was here. He could feel it in his bones. A pull so strong it drowned out logic, drowned out fear, drowned out everything except the single thought pounding in his skull. Find him, save him, no matter the cost. A voice rang out, smooth and mocking, echoing off the metal walls. So the savior finally arrives. Jimin froze. His eyes scanned the shadows until the masked man stepped forward, the same one from the video. His gloved hands clapped slowly, deliberately, as if savoring the moment. You came quicker than I expected, the man drawled. I wonder, was it love that drove you here? Or guilt? Where is he? Jimin's voice cracked through the air, sharp as glass. The man tilted his head. Always so impatient. You should know by now, Jimin, that everything comes with a price. Even him. Jimin's fists tightened. You lay one more hand on him, and I swear. You'll what? The man laughed softly. Kill me? Tear this place apart? You think threats mean anything when you're already dancing on my strings? Before Jimin could answer, a voice broke the air from behind the masked figure. Weak, hoarse, but unmistakably Jungkook's. Jimin? The sound nearly brought Jimin to his knees. His eyes darted past the man, finding Jungkook slumped against a support beam, wrists chained, blood staining the corner of his mouth. His eyes were half-lidded, but alive. Don't, Jungkook whispered, shaking his head weakly. Don't come closer. The masked man's grin widened beneath the shadows. Listen to him, Jimin. He knows what happens next. Jimin took a step forward anyway, his chest tight. I'm not leaving without him. The man spread his arms. Then prove it. Prove how far you're willing to go for him. Before Jimin could react, the door behind him slammed open. Heavy footsteps echoed. Taehyung strode inside, drenched in rain, his expression carved from stone. Jimin's blood ran cold. "What the hell are you doing here?" Taehyung's eyes burned into his. "Saving him, because clearly you can't." The masked man clapped again, delighted. "Ah, perfection. 2 nights for the same crown. Tell me, Jungkook, who do you think bleeds better for you?" "Shut up!" Jimin and Taehyung roared at the same time, their voices overlapping with venom. The warehouse crackled with tension, the storm outside howling like it knew blood was about to spill. Jimin moved first, grabbing a rusted iron pipe from the floor, his gaze locked on the masked man. But Taehyung stepped in his path, shoving him back. "Out of my way," Jimin hissed. "Not this time," Taehyung snapped. "You've screwed this up enough. Every time you run ahead, you leave chaos in your wake. Jungkook deserves better than your obsession." Jimin's face twisted with rage. "Obsession? You think this is obsession? This is love, Taehyung. Real love. Not whatever twisted fantasy you've built in your head." "Love?" Taehyung spat the word like poison. "If this is love, then why is he chained to that wall, broken and bleeding because of your choices?" The accusation landed like a blade. Jimin's grip on the pipe tightened until his knuckles whitened. "Stop," Jungkook rasped, his voice breaking. His chains rattled as he tried to pull himself up. "Please, both of you stop fighting." But they didn't. Jimin shoved Taehyung again, his voice rising.
"You don't get to stand there and act like you're some savior. You're no better than me."
"At least I'm not destroying him in the process," Taehyung fired back. "You think you're saving him, but you're suffocating him. You're the fire that's burning him alive." Something inside, Jimin snapped. He swung the pipe, not at the masked man, but at Taehyung. Metal clanged against metal as Taehyung caught it with his bare hands, fury igniting in his eyes. The masked man laughed, his voice echoing around them. Yes, that's it. Tear each other apart. Show him what your love really looks like." Jungkook's heart pounded against his ribs. "Stop!" he screamed, louder this time, tears streaking his face. "Please stop!" But Jimin and Taehyung were lost to the fire, their rage consuming every ounce of reason. The storm outside roared louder, lightning flashing through the broken windows, illuminating the chaos within. And in that blinding light, the first strike landed. The sound of metal clashing against metal reverberated through the cavernous warehouse, sharp and brutal, cutting through the howling storm outside. Jimin's pipe struck Taehyung's makeshift defense, sending sparks scattering into the air like furious fireflies. Their breathing was ragged, feral, and Jungkook's hoarse cries only made the tension spiral tighter, a rope straining toward its inevitable snap. "Enough!" Jungkook's voice cracked, but neither of them listened. Jimin's eyes burned with desperation as he pushed forward, his teeth gritted in fury. "You don't get to decide what's enough, Taehyung. You've always wanted to control everything, me, him, all of it. But you can't. You don't love him like I do." Taehyung's hand tightened on the rusted beam he had grabbed, veins straining against his skin. His voice shook with rage and something deeper, something broken. "Love. You keep using that word like it means salvation. But every time you say it, it destroys him a little more. Look at him, Jimin. Look at what your kind of love has done to him." The lightning outside split the sky, illuminating Jungkook's trembling frame as he hung against the chains. His lips were cracked, blood smeared across his jawline. But his eyes, those eyes, still held fire, still held a plea neither of them wanted to hear. "Stop fighting over me," Jungkook rasped, his voice weak but fierce. "I'm not a prize. I'm not something to win." But the storm inside Jimin was too loud. His whole body shook as he advanced again, his pipe swinging with reckless anger. "I'm not letting him go! Not to you! Not to anyone!" The impact when Taehyung blocked him again was so loud it seemed to rattle the foundation of the building itself. The masked man stood back, clapping slowly, eyes glinting with sadistic delight. "Yes," the man murmured. "That's it. Show him the truth. Show him what your love really means. Chains, fire, blood." Jimin's snarl ripped through the air as he shoved against Taehyung, their faces inches apart. "You think you're better than me? You think Jungkook will run to you because you're calmer? Softer? You don't know him like I do. You don't bleed for him like I do." Taehyung's voice dropped to a low, dangerous whisper. "You're right. I don't bleed for him. I would burn the whole damn world before I let him suffer for me. That's the difference, Jimin. You drown him. I free him." The words hit Jimin like knives, But instead of breaking him, they fueled his fury. He raised the pipe high, his scream raw, and swung with all his strength. Taehyung twisted, the pipe grazing his shoulder, the metallic clang deafening as it struck the beam behind him. Jungkook's chains rattled violently as he tried to break free, his throat raw from shouting, "Stop it! Please, both of you! You're tearing me apart!" But they didn't stop. The fight escalated, every strike heavier, every shove more brutal, as though their hatred had been simmering for years, waiting for this moment to erupt. Each word they spat was poison, each blow a confession. "You're selfish, Jimin," Taehyung roared as he shoved him back. "You'd rather watch him break than admit you failed. And you're a liar," Jimin fired back, eyes wild. "You only want him because you couldn't have me." The masked man's laughter filled the air again, bouncing off the walls. "Oh, beautiful. This is more than I ever dreamed of. Brothers turned enemies, love turned war. Do you see now, Jungkook? Do you see the curse of being adored?" Jungkook's tears blurred his vision, fury and heartbreak choking him. "I never asked for this," he screamed. "I never wanted either of you to bleed for me." But in that moment, neither Jimin nor Taehyung could hear him anymore. The storm inside them had taken control. Jimin lunged, the pipe aimed straight for Taehyung's ribs, but Taehyung caught it mid-swing, twisting it violently. The force sent Jimin sprawling to the ground, his breath knocked out of him. Taehyung raised the pipe now, standing over him, his chest heaving, eyes burning with fury and betrayal. The masked man whispered into the chaos, his voice silky and cruel. "Go on. End it. Show him which of you truly deserves to stand beside him." Lightning flashed again, the shadows sharp across Taehyung's face. His grip tightened, his body trembled. Jungkook screamed,